thus making the self ever harmonized. The yogin who has put away sin experiences easily the infinite bliss of contact with the eternal. The word vigata kal manasya, one who has put away sin, is used to describe what you gain. How do these sins go away? If one wishes to be free from sin, then the first thing that he must understand is that he must recognize the root sins and not the types of sin. Until a person gets lost in the types of sin, then he cannot become free from sins. This is because the types of sins keeps changing. If we make a list of the sins that we should not commit, then what will come on the list? This will say, I do not steal, I do not eat meat, I do not drink alcohol, I do not think about committing adultery. This all means that because you do not do this and that, you do not commit sins. All of these are types of sins. It is 100% right that you should not steal, you should not tell lies, you should not drink alcohol, you should not eat meat, etc., etc. This is all true. But these are types of sins. And well, if we go a little deeper, then we will see that types of sin change, but the sin does not change. Now, if we say here that one should not eat meat, then this is correct. But if you go to stay with tribes in the jungle, and all they eat is meat, and for them eating meat is not a sin. If we say for us that drinking alcohol is a sin, then it is not the drinking of alcohol itself is a sin. The drinking of alcohol is a type of sin, and the type always varies. It changes with the place, the circumstances, and the times, etc. If I were to say in simple language that the fashion of sins change, during some eras some sins are in fashion, and in other eras other sins are in fashion. If you look at India during ancient times, then the taboo we have regarding men and women today was not there. They were quite broad-minded. The thoughts that we call sins today were not thought of as a sin during primitive times. In modern India, thought women have more traditional lives, whereas the men go to earn a means of living. But such thoughts were not there in ancient India. During that period, it came in the middle when foreigners began attacking India. During this time, we locked women inside the house and gave it a lot of importance to chastity. This is because wherever foreigners come to attack a country, then they have their eyes on two things. They do not want land. They do not want land because they have to come to attack it and to loot the country. What use is land to them because they cannot pick the land and take it? They have their eyes on two things. One is wealth, for example, gold, silver, pearls, diamonds, and the second is women. Every time foreigners attack happen in any country, beginning with Greeks in ancient times, they took two things, wealth and women. They looted the wealth, but they also took the women and committed rapes. That is why in ancient India, women were kept inside houses more and more. During ancient times in India, there are descriptions in the scriptures, just like there were in gurus, hermitages for young boys, there were also hermitages for young girls. In each hermitage there were thousands of young girls studying, and they became very wise. But as these attacks happened, then what happened is that the attackers cast their eyes on these hermitages for the young girls. They saw that there were a lot of girls gathered in one place. They attacked these hermitages, and therefore these hermitages closed. And after the hermitages closed, then studying for girls also stopped. It is a very deep issue which the Guruji does not go into. What Guruji means to say is that the definition of sins change with time. The types of sins change with time. One can only become vigatagalamasha, one who has put away the sin, when he has understood the metaphysical meaning of sin, when he has understood sin from the root. Stop the gold, not the ornament. The types of ornaments could be earrings, necklaces, or bracelets. These are all types, and it is meaningless. Stop the gold. Many times a person does not even know that he is committing sins. One woman was talking to a neighbor and saying that nowadays, wherever you go to a bank, you do not get good notes, and that when you get bundles of notes from the bank, they always contain torn up notes. People working at the bank do not even perform their jobs properly. Guruji says he went to the bank today and got a bundle of 50 rupee notes. When he opened the bundle, there was a brown tape stuck to the notes because the notes were torn up and stuck together with the brown tape. The people at the bank told him that he had torn them up and that they would not take them back. The neighbour asked what she did with the notes. She said nothing. This morning I went to the grocer and gave it to her. She is therefore saying that if the person working in the bank gives her a torn note, sellotaped together, then the person working in the bank is wrong. And if I give these same notes sellotaped together, then I'm very clever. Look at how the type of sin has not changed, and the woman does not even know what she is doing, the exact same thing that she was complaining about. He is saying that if the person working on the bank gives a torn apart note sellotaped together, then the person working at the bank is wrong. And if I give these same torn apart notes sellotaped together, then I'm very clever. What kind of logic is this? The sin has changed its appearance. This is what I mean. Do not look at the types of sin, recognize the root sin. So what is this sin? If someone behaves with me in a certain way that I do not like, then I should not behave in that way with someone else, and if I do, then this is a sin. In the next verse, Sri Krishna is going to use the word atmopamyana. There is only one way. A person becomes his own guide and his own barometer, whether he likes it or not. Do not look at the types of sin. Recognize the root sin. We say that to kill another person is a sin. This is wrong. When a thief kills someone, then we say that he has committed a sin. And when the judge sentences the thief to be hanged after the thief has been proved guilty in court, then has the judge not also killed the thief? He has killed the thief. But we do not call this act of the judge a sin. That is why I say that the types of sin can change with place, time and circumstances. You cannot say that something is a sin by looking at the prima facie act. This is why we must really understand the word vigatala masha, one who has put away sin. A sin does not arise because of the act. A sin arises because of the attitude behind the act. What is the reason why you perform the act? What was the mentality and the attitude behind the act? What was the purpose behind the act? Only if the attitude was sinful, the act can be a sin. If one's neighbour hits one's child, then this is a sin. But if a mother hits her own child, then this is not a sin. Guruji likes this example very much. There was a 5-year-old boy whose mother passed away. His father remarried, and his stepmother came. After 6 to 8 months passed, a relative asked the boy, "What is the difference between your old mother and your new mother?" The boy said with a lot of innocence that my old mother used to lie all the time, and my new mother tells the truth. The relative found this strange and asked how his old mother could have been telling lies and how the new mother could be telling the truth. The boy said yes, and the relative asked him, "Son, how is this so?" The boy said, "If I come home late from school, if I behave naughty, or if I do not sit down to study, then my old mother would tell me that if I did not behave properly, then she would not give me anything to eat. But she lied all the time because she always fed me all the time. My new mother also says that she will not give me anything to eat, but she always tells the truth. She does not give me the food." In simple language, we say that it is a sin to tell lies. So are the lies that the old mother is saying sins? And if we say that to tell the truth, punya, the opposite of sin, then when the new mother is telling the truth to the child that she will not give him any food, and not giving any food to this 5-year-old child, then is this sin? What I wish to say is recognize the root sin and not the types of sin. Go to the root of it. Only then can a person become vigatala masha, one who has put away the sin. Otherwise he creates the wrong mindset and satisfaction in thinking that he is free of sins and faultless because he is not doing X, Y, and Z. And if a person is regarded as free of sin at a religious discourse, then he may go somewhere else and be regarded there as a great sinner. And a person who is regarded as free of sin elsewhere could come into a religious discourse and may be punished for years and years. This is because by the standards of religious scriptures, he will be punished for years and years. There are many different types of sins. Those who study business say that the business customs of countries are very different. That is why people like Dubai, because they say it's like heaven. If something is regarded as a sin here, it is not regarded as a sin over in Dubai. Let's leave it at that. Vigatakala Masha. A person should go to the root of sin. Only then will he understand it. This is what a yogi makes efforts to do. He always keeps himself joined with God. Such a yogi is constantly in touch with God and has a hotline with God. This yoga experiences Atyanta Sukh, infinite bliss. And that is the end of verse 28.